Hi everyone, it's Dr. Davis again, and I'm here for the second tutorial on how to develop your reference list in APA format. This time I'm going to show you some examples with some documents that I have produced, and I'm also going to show you how to format your work when you find articles on Google Scholar or through the UNC libraries. So the first thing I'm going to show you is um, a very small and completed reference list. There are a couple of things that I want to talk to you about um, the reference list and how you are going to set it up. The first thing you need to know is that you are going to list your references in alphabetical order by the first author's last name. So you can see my first author is Athanasius. Um, the next first author is Casper. The next first author is Casper again. Then Jennings, starts with a J. Then Lugo. And then here's one that is not an author's name. It's published by an entity or an organization, the National Association for the Education of Young Children. Another one here, the Pew Research Center. And then finally, Rimmelauer and Katie, excuse me. And so a couple of things that I want to point out about listing these articles by author last name in alphabetical order is that you want to pull the last names from the article exactly as they are listed. For example, here's the first article listed was written by Athanasius and Larrabee. A does come before L, and I'm going to try and find a different example. Okay, look down at this particular article. You will see this has several authors: Lugo, Stencil, Green, Smith, Cox, Pond, and Kohut. If you were to list those authors' last names in alphabetical order, you would certainly start with Cox, then move to Green, then move to Kohut, then Lugo, then Pond, then Smith, then Stencil. But you need to list the author's last names in the order that they are published in the article. And there is a specific reason for that. Anytime an article has more than one author, the first author name that you will see is the author that contributed the most to the research. They might, or to the article, they might be the person who wrote the research proposal and carried out the research. And then subsequent authors will be authors that contributed less than that initial author, but also they are listed in the order of the amount that they contributed to the particular article. So you don't list the author's names within any particular reference in alphabetical order, just in your entire reference list, and you will alphabetize it by the first letter of the first author's last name. The next bit of information that you need to provide, and it depends on what the actual article provides, are the initials of the author's either first name or first and middle names. So on this particular author, the article listed SZ as the first and middle initial of that author. Here you will notice that this author's last name, Casper, only lists one initial because that's all that was provided in the article. So if the article provides a first initial, you list it. If they provide a first and middle initial, you also list that. After the author's name, which ends with a period, then you will, within parentheses, list the year that the article was published. Again, close your parentheses and follow that by a period. The next thing in your citation is going to be the name of the article. There are a couple of things that I want you to notice within the name of the article. The first thing is that the only letters that are capitalized within the title of the article is the first letter of the article, and then any other words that might be a proper noun. For example, this very last article. The title of the article is The Mamas and the Papas, the Invisible Diversity of Families with Same-Sex Parents in the United States. The first letter of the title, the word "the," is capitalized, and then there's also a proper noun, United States, so you would capitalize the U and the S in United States. Other than that, the only time you would add a capital letter is the first word after a colon. You do capitalize that. All of the other words, regardless of how they're published in the particular journal, you put them in lowercase. So if you'll take a look quickly at some of these article names, you will see that the first letter is capitalized of the first word, and then the rest of the words in the title are lowercase. Okay. After you list the title of the article, you want to finish the title with a period. So each section of your reference is finished with a period. The next thing you're going to list in your citation is the name of the journal. So the name of the journal in this first article is Teaching and Teacher Education. You'll notice that this is italicized. So when you're listing a journal name, you want to put it in italics. The next thing you see is the volume number and the edition number in parentheses that are all together with no spaces. So this is volume number 19, edition number 2. So volume 19 probably means the 19th year that they have been publishing this journal. And then the edition is 2, so it may, if it's a monthly publication, it may be February of that particular year. If it's something that's only published quarterly, it might be for the summer quarter. You will then, I'm sorry, let me go back. After the journal name, you're going to put a comma, then the volume and the edition followed by a comma, and then the range of page numbers. And then you're going to end the reference with a period. So this very first reference is pretty standard. Author names, year of publication, title of the article, name of the journal, volume number and edition number in italics, followed by a comma, and then the page number range, followed by a period. There are some exceptions, of course, as there always are. In the second article, the authors are V. Casper and S.B. Schultz. Article was published in 1999. The name of the article is Gay Parents / Straight Schools, Building Communication and Trust. And the only other information that was provided in this article was that this article was published. I'm sorry. This is a book. This is the title of a book, and so the only other thing that I had available to me was the name of the publisher of the book, which was Teacher College Press. In the next example that I give you, the article has 5 authors, and you can see that anytime there's more than one article, you are supposed to use an ampersand instead of typing out the word and. So the 5 authors are listed. This article was published in 1996. The date is in parentheses followed by a period. Here is the name of the article, toward a most thorough understanding of the world, sexual orientation and early childhood education, followed by a period. The next information is the name of the journal, in italics, the Harvard Education Review, followed by a comma. The volume number is 66. That's where the italics end. The edition is number 2, and the page numbers, followed by a comma, and the page number range is pages 271 through 294, followed by a period. The next information that you see is a DOI number, and that stands for Digital Object Identifier. This is when you find an article online. This is sort of the technical web address for where this article can be found. So if you were to take this portion of the DOI and plug it into your browser, you would be able to pull that article up. This is needed if you are pulling an article offline. You will see that the next article has a couple of things that I want to point out in the title. There is the word out in quotation marks. It was written just like that in the title, so you want to be sure that it's written like that. And then you'll also notice that this word programs is spelled a little bit differently. This article was published in a journal in Australia, and the title had the Australian spelling for programs, and so you want to copy it just like it was published. The name of the journal was the International Journal of Inclusive Education. Again, the journal name is followed by a comma, the volume number and the edition number, and then the page number range. Now, there are some times that an article that you read is not attributed to a specific author. For example, these next two citations were articles that were published under the name of the association or the entity. The first one is the National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the second one is the Pew Research Center. So if there is no author name listed on the article, you do start with who published the article or the name of the entity or organization with the same information, the name, the year that it was published, and the name of the article, all followed by periods. And then usually you are going to find these types of articles online at the website of these particular organizations. So you will let me know where you retrieved the article. And then once again, I should be able to take this link, plug it into my browser, and pull up the article. I think the last article that I referenced in this particular list follows the rules that I've already